one of Britain's worst ever child sex abuse gangs, have now been jailed for a total of 190 years following the sentencing of its final 4 members. 7 victims aged under 13 were abused over almost a decade in the Walsall and Wolverhampton areas in what a judge said was a prolonged and sustained campaign that left children terribly psychologically damaged. After several criminal trials, the final 4 people involved in what the Crown Prosecution Service said was the largest child sexual abuse investigation in the West Midlands have been imprisoned. A total of 21 people have now been convicted. Matthew Evans, 32, and John Griffiths, 66, were both jailed for 17.5 years at Wolverhampton Crown Court, while Violet Griffiths, 66, was handed 15 years. Natasha Webb, 37, who gave evidence for the prosecution in 3 criminal trials, was jailed for 9 years. Webb pleaded guilty to multiple child sex offences. The other 3 were convicted by a jury. 2 separate sentencing hearings, one for Webb and the other for the remaining defendants, heard that the victims had been left traumatised by the abuse. Judge Simon Ward said those who had been convicted cared nothing for the general rules of society or the laws that make it a crime to have sex with children. He said, "You use children as sexual objects for your own pleasure. The result of what you did left the victims traumatised and seriously harmed emotionally. They came to believe sex with adults was normal." Referring to one of the victims who cannot be named for legal reasons, Judge Ward said it would take many years for them to live a normal life because of the depraved abuse. He added that the same victim had suffered psychotic episodes, depression and post-traumatic stress disorder and had tried to take their own life. Other victims had also shown signs of PTSD, the court heard. Sentencing Evans, Judge Ward acknowledged the defendant was significantly younger when he carried out the abuse, although still an adult, and that he had not reoffended and was now married. But he said Evans's crimes were terrible, adding, "According to you, you are innocent, but the jury said otherwise. It is clear to me you do have a sexual interest in children." As well as the jail term with a 12-month extended licence period. After that, Evans was also subject to a sexual harm prevention order for 30 years and an indefinite restraining order, and must serve 2/3 of his sentence in jail before he can be considered for release. Addressing Violet and John Griffiths, Judge Ward acknowledged that neither had any previous convictions, that character references spoke highly of them, and the offences happened more than 10 years ago. But he said he believed the pair had a sexual interest in children, although they both denied it, and jailed Violet Griffiths with a SHPO for 20 years and an indefinite restraining order. John Griffiths was also subject to a 12-month extended licence, a 20-year SHPO, and an indefinite restraining order. He must serve 2/3 of his sentence behind bars before the parole board will decide if he can be released. In an earlier hearing, Webb was jailed for a total of 9 years, 6 of which will be spent in prison with 3 on licence. She was also given an indefinite restraining order and an indefinite SHPO. That hearing heard that Webb, who has learning disability and an IQ of 59, was easily manipulated and influenced by those who are more able. Joanne Jakimek, Chief Crown Prosecutor for the CPS, praised the bravery of the victims and witnesses in coming forward and giving evidence throughout the trials. She said the 21 offenders convicted in Operation Satchel perpetrated the most abhorrent catalogue of systematic sexual abuse on 7 children. The scale, depravity, and deeply disturbing nature of which is unlike anything I have seen during my time working for the CPS, and has shocked everyone who has been involved in bringing them to justice. The cruel abuse they inflicted on the victims for years has caused them physical and extreme psychological harm, leaving them traumatized. I would like to thank and commend all of the victims and the witnesses for their bravery in coming forward and giving evidence. It is their courage which enabled us to bring this case to court and see justice served. Please like and comment, and I would love it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.